Today's lesson of 6.5 is on trapezoids. We'll be using specifically two different properties of trapezoids. Okay, a trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides. Those parallel sides here in red are called the bases, and the sides that are not parallel, in this example BC and AD, are called legs. Now there's a more specific type of trapezoid called the isosceles trapezoid. This is similar with a triangle where we have two legs that are congruent. The only difference is with a trapezoid there are base legs and bases and legs, and the legs are the ones that are going to be congruent. If the legs are congruent, then we are going to be isosceles. Okay, and specific theorems about an isosceles trapezoid. Each pair of base angles are congruent. So in this example here, angle A and B are one pair of base angles, and they are congruent. Angle C and angle D are the other pair, and those are also congruent. Okay, so if we have an isosceles trapezoid, then we have those two pairs of congruent angles. The bottom theorem says if we have a pair of congruent base angles, then it's isosceles. Right? Kind of makes sense, goes both ways. Okay, now another thing to remember is given these parallel lines, we know that if we have congruent angles here and here on top, that these two angles are also going to add up to 180 degrees. Just quick think back, why would that be? Why would these two angles, angle A and D, add up to 180 degrees here? Because we have parallel lines. If we extend those lines, we have same side interior angles, which in order for these lines to be parallel, these need to add up to 180. So angle A plus angle D, or angle B and C, need to add up to equal 180. Okay, we will use that a lot. Find the missing angle measures of the isosceles trapezoid. So we have 50 here. We know that if this is 50, angle R has to be 50. All right, so 50 is equal to angle R. Okay. Next, to find P, we're using that the fact that angle S and angle P added together must equal 180. So we have 50 plus P equals 180. To solve for P, we're going to subtract 50 from both sides. By subtracting 50 from both sides, this will get 0 over here. 180 minus 50 is going to be 80 minus 50 is 30. So then we have 130. And so angle P equals 130. And then lastly, Q is also going to be equal to P, so angle Q also equals 130. On the bottom example, we have angle D is 100, so we know that angle C must also equal 100. Now where else are we going to go from there? Angle D plus angle A will equal 180. So again, 100 plus angle A equals 180, and we're going to subtract 100 from both sides here in red to get A equals 80. And then we also know that B must also equal 80. So we have 100, 100 here, 80, and 80 here. Okay. Moving on. Find the missing angles of the isosceles trapezoid, the same direction. We've got 70 degrees here for C. Since these are base angles, D must also equal 70. Okay. Then A and B are going to be 70 plus what number equals 180. So 70 plus angle B equals 180, and then we'll subtract 70 from each side to get angle B equals 110, which is also equal to angle A. Down here, following one more time, we've got angle A is 75, so angle B must also equal 75. Okay. Now 75 plus what equals 180? So 75 plus angle D equals 180, and then we're going to subtract 75 from each side to get angle D equals 105, which is also equal to angle C. And then lastly, again, angle B is a 75. So those are the three angles we were missing. Next up, an important part of the trapezoid is the midsegment. The midsegment is actually where the area formula is going to come from. It's going to be the midsegment times the height. So the midsegment is literally the segment in the middle, kind of like midpoint is the point in the middle, right? So it's going to connect the midpoint of the two legs. Okay, and so the length of the midsegment is going to be half of the sum of the two bases. So meaning we would add AD and BC together and then divide it by 2 or times it by half to get your midsegment value. So find the length of the midsegment. We got 8 and 20. So 20 plus 8 equals 28. And then we're going to divide by 2. Half of 28 is 14. And that is our value for the midsegment. We're going to follow the same pattern down here. 8 plus 14 equals 22. And then we're dividing them by half. Half of 22 is 11, which equals MN, our midsegment. 2 more examples to go here. We have MN, which is the midsegment of the trapezoid. We need to add 10 plus 6 to get 16. And then dividing 16 by 2, half of 16 will give us 8. So 16 divided by 2 is 8, and that is MN. And then one more, we've got another MN to find midsegment. We're going to add 24 and 18. 24 plus 18 is going to give us 42. And 42 divided by 2 is 21. So this is all the work you need to show. It's fairly straightforward. I know some people can do this in their head, but that is the work that I need you to show. Add them together, divide by 2, and then if you do it on your calculator, you'll have 21. Homework for tomorrow is 6-5, page 335, 6 through 25.